Each day is an unrepeatable miracle. Today will never happen again. But the memories can live on and on through others. Everyone at a defined time, a while, a moment, a season, has a funny, uplifting story to tell. This podcast, A Chrono, lets your story be told so you can encourage or uplift someone through your moment in time with hope, laughter, and joy.
Hey everyone, this is Artina McCain, and I am going to share a story with you all about restoration and healing. For many years now, I have been giving a lecture about performance injury as it's related to musicians because I myself struggled from a debilitating injury that almost ended my now career as a pianist and full-time university professor at the University of Memphis. So I am going to share a little bit about what happened to me, and I hope for anyone that is struggling with a physical, maybe emotional, or spiritual hang-up that's keeping you from what God's purpose is for your life, that you will be inspired and encouraged to keep on keeping on, as we sometimes say. So my story started off when I was a teenager. I, for the first time, felt pain in my hands that I went to my current teacher at the time and said, I've got a little pain here. What should we do? And at that age, a little bit of rest took care of it, and I didn't have to do anything particular to get over the pain. Then fast forward, I went to Southern Methodist University for my bachelor's degree in piano performance. And during my time there was the first time that I felt a pain that did not go away. I actually went to a sports medicine doctor on campus and asked them, what was the best way I could handle it? What should I do? Should I alter my practice time in some way? And he told me what's pretty common for people with muscular injuries of any sort, actually, not just musicians, but that you should rest, ice, heating pad, take some ibuprofen. And I did that in my early 20s, and the pain went away. Continuing on, I went to get my master's degree at the Cleveland Institute of Music. And for those of you who may not know, Cleveland Institute of Music is a conservatory, and conservatory training is very rigorous. Students that go to conservatories typically practice 6 to 8 hours a day, and that's just the norm to become a concert artist of any instrument. And so I wanted that lifestyle. So I did that. I practiced many hours every day. And this was a time that I felt pain that did not go away in a day or a week or so. And so some of you might realize that Cleveland has some of the premier hospitals in our country. And so I was actually rather thankful to be injured there because I thought this is a place that I can get help. These are some of the best doctors that I can see anywhere in the country. So I went over to the hospital there, and it was really fascinating because for the first time I went to a doctor who had a piano in his office. And I thought, wow, this is all the hype that I've heard. And I sat down and I played a little bit. He watched me. And when I finished, he kind of had a pondering look on his face, and he says, well, your muscles are all riled up, and so you will just have to rest. Well, That's not the answer I wanted from the neurologist at this hospital. I was really hoping for something more life-shattering. I don't know, some special drug that they had there to cure me of all my muscular ailments. Well, that did not happen. I went through a series of traditional treatments, physical therapy, ice, ibuprofen, some heat therapy treatments, massage, etc. And I got a little bit better. At the time that I had to go see the doctor, I was actually almost finished with my master's degree. And the main goal for me was to complete my final recital. So I spent the entire summer following the doctor's orders, tried to give the recital in the fall, didn't work out, tried again in December. And by December, I had just barely gotten to about an hour of practice time a day, which, considering that most people in a conservatory setting practice 6 hours, 8 hours, at ridiculous amounts of time, an hour is almost a joke. But I got to 1 hour and I was able to play the program that I had been preparing for almost over a year at that point. That day, I took maybe 6 to 8 ibuprofens to numb any potential pain that I might feel by playing this recital. And as the recital went on, it actually just got worse and worse. And by the time the recital was over, on a scale from 1 to 10, I was a 20. And I knew at this moment that I had to do something if I still wanted to have any kind of career in music. So for several years, I explored various alternative techniques, Alexander technique, Taubman technique, which is very specific to pianists, different types of massage, and I gained some benefit from all of the things that I did. And so I decided to continue on with my doctorate degree. Now, in those few years that I was working on pain in my arms, I picked up a few other pains. I had 2 car accidents, which limited the mobility in my neck. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, patellofemoral syndrome, and back pain. And so in my mid-20s, I was really quite a muscular mess. I had been fitted for custom orthotics, and I couldn't even stand up for very long, more than 5 or 10 minutes at any given time. So it was really important to me as I was doing different alternative techniques to find something for my entire body, not just my hands. So anyway, after a few years of this, I was well enough to start a doctoral program at the University of Texas at Austin. And the first year is heavy academics, so I didn't have to play a whole lot, and so I didn't have any flare-ups in my hands. And after the year was over, I decided I wanted to get back into playing, and so I decided to play at the church that I was currently attending. Now, church music is not that physically demanding for most people who are trained professionally as musicians. And it's definitely not the type of music that one would think they would experience a career-ending injury on. But that's actually what happened to me. At the end of the week of playing several services, I had lost the range of motion in my right hand. I could not open it all of the way. And that really just, at that moment I thought, well, okay, I guess I'm not supposed to be a pianist, because if I can't open my right hand, I cannot play piano. It was really devastating to me. Fast forward through the summer, I was considering quitting the degree when I met a woman from that same church at a retreat who told me about muscle activation techniques, which revolutionized my thinking about the body and how it worked. But it also restored my body completely from where I was and allowed me to continue to pursue this dream of being a pianist and having a career. So after a few months of MAT, my hand was restored. I got all of the range of motion back. I was removed from wearing orthotics now in my 7th year of not wearing orthotics, which is already a miracle. And I am a pianist. I tour all over the place with my husband and other colleagues, as well as doing solo recitals. And now I have a full-time job as a university professor teaching piano to other young musicians who want to follow the same career path. And I just have to say it's a miracle. And it's a very interesting miracle that I would be serving God in the church where I met my worst pain ever, something that could have derailed me to quit. But instead, I received a wonderful healing after many years of prayer, and feel like every day is a joy to be able to play and share the gift that God gave me. And so I hope that story gives you a little bit of hope if you are struggling through something like that as well. And I encourage you to kind of check out some of my other stuff on my website and just see all of the wonderful, miraculous things God can do if you just hang in there. All right, guys. Well, that's it. And it's been a pleasure sharing this story of restoration and healing.
This has been A Chrono with hosts Dee and Joshua. If you have an encouraging or uplifting moment in time to share, why not send it to us at lifechrono@yahoo.com. That's LIFECHRONO@yahoo.com. A special thank you to Dr. Artina McCain, classical pianist, for contributing the opening, and Dr. Martin McCain, the closing theme music for the show. Selections taken from their album releases, Preludes at the Piano, and Shades. If you've liked what you've heard, if it's encouraged or made you laugh, if you want to hear more, share us on your social media outlets, leave a review, and subscribe to the podcast.